Hi there, hi, this is a short video about indirect commands for Latin GCSE. So an indirect command, unsurprisingly, is going to report a direct command. Direct commands use imperatives. Do this, listen, go there. So an indirect command is going to be somebody reporting that, i.e. he ordered me to do this, he ordered me to listen, he ordered me to go there. So there are two ways of doing indirect commands in Latin. The first of them is used solely by the verb eubeo, which means I order, and actually it works a lot like English. So in that example, he ordered me to do this. He ordered me, okay, is accusative, and then to do this, an infinitive. So eubeo works like English, is followed by an accusative and an infinitive. So if we have a look at an example here, we have imperator militem ad urbem festinare usit. So we can see nice and clearly we have our usit, okay, at the end. So this is obviously, notice the principal parts. This is the perfect of eubeo, okay, so it's going to be the general ordered in the perfect in the past. He ordered, and now we're looking for an accusative. Okay, we have urbem as accusative, but that's coming after ad. So our accusative here is militem. So he ordered the soldier, and then after that we need to look for our infinitive, and there it is, festinare. So he ordered the soldier to hurry, and he ordered him to hurry ad urbem, so ordered him to hurry to the city. Okay, so eubeo, nice and straightforward, works a lot like English. Okay, the other way of doing it is using ut and using the subjunctive, and in particular it's going to be the imperfect subjunctive. And it's worth just quickly reminding ourselves how we form the imperfect subjunctive. So if we look at the principal parts of paro up at the top, we can see, okay, we're focusing for the imperfect, okay, we're focusing on these first two principal parts, and in fact particularly the second one, because what we do is we use our infinitive, and all we have to do is then add our personal endings. So m, s, t, mus, tis, unt in the active, and actually the passive is nice and straightforward as well, because all we have to do is add the passive endings. Okay, so that's a quick reminder about how we form the imperfect subjunctive. Okay, so if we have a look at an example, pater filio imperavit ut diligenter auderet. Okay, so there are going to be three things that we need to watch out for in ut plus the subjunctive. Okay, so the second one is ut, and the third one is going to be our imperfect subjunctive. Okay, but number one is important as well. Okay, number one is going to be our verb of ordering, and we're going to see in just a second that there are a few different verbs of ordering. Okay, it's certainly not eubeo, because that's going to be accusative plus infinitive, but not just impero, which is our other Latin verb that means I order. Okay, and that's the one that we have here. Okay, so the father ordered filio, ordered his son. Notice that filio is in the dative because impero takes the dative. So the father ordered his son. There's our ut. There's our imperfect subjunctive. So he ordered his son to listen, and then listen diligenter, to listen carefully. Okay, so our three things that we're looking out for. First of all is our verb of ordering. Second of all is ut, and then the third thing is our imperfect subjunctive. Now, okay, Latin uses indirect commands even when it's just a polite request or even a suggestion, and so we actually end up with a range of verbs that might introduce an indirect command. So we've just met impero followed by the dative, which means I command or I order. Hortor, which notice is a deponent verb that means I encourage, I urge someone. So if you encourage somebody to do something, that's going to use ut plus the subjunctive. Moneo, if you advise somebody to do something. Oro, I beg. Persuadeo, I persuade, which notice like impero takes a dative. And rogo, I ask. So I ask someone to do something, a polite request. All of these are going to use ut plus the subjunctive. So these, we're thinking of all of these as our verbs of ordering. Okay, so that's something to watch out for. So these are all the ones that we need to know for GCSE, these 6. Now, the last, but by no means least, negative indirect commands. Okay, they are going to be introduced not by ut, but this time by ne instead. Okay, so for example, we have milites ques oraverunt ne poeas nocte ambularent. So this time we can see oraverunt is our verb of ordering. Okay, so milites oraverunt ques. The soldiers begged the ques, the citizens, begged the citizens. And this time we don't have an ut, okay, we have a ne instead. So they're begging them not to do something, and they're begging them not to walk and then begging them not to walk. Where is it? Well, it's through the streets at night, per vias nocte. Okay, and that's all that we need to know about indirect commands. So the two most important things are to distinguish, to differentiate between eubeo, which uses accusative plus infinitive, and all of the other verbs of ordering that we've met that use ut followed by the imperfect subjunctive.